What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. In this video, we're going to go over a new timeline for when we can expect the next stimulus check. We're going to go over some new information about the next stimulus check and unemployment being extended. And we're also going to go over some reasoning and some info from Steve Mnuchin on why we actually may receive more than one stimulus check before the election. But first, if you can, hit the like button for me down below. It really helps out my channel. And if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on second stimulus check updates coming out, when the check's gonna come out, and how fast you'll get it. Me and my wife spend hours every single day to go through all the stimulus check information as it comes out, so we can give it to you and you can watch just a quick video every single day and get all the information. In this video, we have lots of good news for you guys. It's just gonna be good news after good news after good news after good news. So let's jump right into it. Okay, the first set of good news is the U.S. House of Representatives has officially canceled their August recess until the next stimulus package is passed and the next stimulus payment to Americans is passed. The House is canceling its traditional August recess. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer announced on Friday. Hoyer said that the House would remain in session until a deal on the next bill is officially reached. He says, I have told my members and I have told Minority Leader, aka the Republicans in the House, that no one should schedule themselves for next week or until such time as we adopt a new virus legislation, aka the next stimulus package and the next stimulus check. Members of Congress traditionally take the month of August to return to their districts and conduct business there, aka the recess. That's why it's a little bit misunderstood that people think it's just a vacation. We will not start the August district work period until we pass relief to meet the current crisis. This is really good news. This is basically saying that the Democrats who control the House are not going to go on recess at all until the next stimulus package is passed. Good news number two is that California officials are considering a $600 state unemployment benefit. This is just for the state, so your federal unemployment boost, whatever it turns out to be when they extend it, would be additional. This is just for Californians, but the good news about that is that California is the most populated state in the United States, and other states tend to follow when momentum starts to happen in additional states. So if California raises their state unemployment, it could happen in other states going forward also. This would bring about a $100 billion stimulus plan to bring about job creation and keep the economy moving in California. State unemployment checks will fall back to the weekly average of around $338 per week without any federal unemployment bonus. And here's the interesting part, because if you know, California has typically not had a lot of surplus of money, especially billions or trillions of dollars extra just lying around. California lawmakers said that they would borrow funding for increased unemployment benefits from a federal trust fund, from which the state has borrowed $6.5 billion to pay claims since March. This would be in addition to the $6.5 billion. The borrowed funds would be paid back by increasing taxes for employers in future years. California borrowed $10 billion during the Great Recession back in 2008, last decade, and finished paying off the amounts in 2018 with raised employer taxes. So not on employees, but on employers. So let us know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. Do you think it's a good idea for high cost of living places such as California, maybe New York, and some other states to possibly raise their unemployment during this time where we have tens of millions of people out of work and many businesses have gone out of business and there's just not enough jobs to go around, but they may have to borrow the money and pay it back later once we come out of this pandemic. California did do that in 2008 and they've paid back the money now, so it does seem like they've done this successfully in the past. On to the next set of good news. President Donald Trump says that student loans may be suspended for additional periods of time. The current student loan relief is set to end on September 30th of this year. The president said during a briefing at the White House that we suspended student loan payments for 6 months, and we are looking to do that additionally for additional periods of time going forward. The president also said that he wants to extend eviction protection going forward also. There's also possibly billions of dollars that could go for childcare out of this next stimulus package. And that there are various grants and programs aimed at supporting kids, jobs, and healthcare. And that in the next stimulus package, there is $10 billion for back-to-work childcare grants to pay for fixed costs and operating expenses due to the pandemic, as well as aid in creating safe environments for children attending daycares. Also, in a recent interview, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin hinted at the possibility of having more checks in the future and possibly getting more than one check before the election in November. And let's think about why this may be. So first of all, when the first stimulus check went out, President Donald Trump's poll numbers, his approval rating, went up by approximately 5%. Now, here's the interesting part. President Donald Trump is currently behind in poll numbers to Democratic nominee Joe Biden. Now, where the election is going to come down to is going to be the swing states, the states that could go Democrat or Republican. There's a lot of states that vote Democrat every single time, and there's a lot of states that vote Republican every single time. Those states are pretty much set in stone, and they don't sway very often. But the swing states votes, the ones that President Donald Trump won in the last election, is what boosted him to get enough votes to be able to become a president, even though he didn't win the overall popular vote. Now, because of this pandemic and everything, the whole United States crashing, having to shut down, having to deal with this virus, President Donald Trump is behind in the poll numbers where before the virus, he was actually ahead in poll numbers and his approval rating was much higher. But when the first stimulus check came out, his approval numbers went up by about 5%. So if we look at that as any type of indicator, for each additional check that they can pass in the future before the election, his approval rating could also go up by 5% more. And it's these swing states where they're going to matter the most. And if he can pass an additional 1 or 2 stimulus checks, say 2 different rounds of $1,200 before the election, he could potentially see 2 different increases of his poll numbers of 5% each. And we have up to 82% of people saying that we need more stimulus money and we need more unemployment benefits. So if 82% of people want that, if we give the people what they want, they'll be in a happier state of mind and they'll be better off in the short term, which is when the election is in less than 3 months. So if they can get the next stimulus package passed within the next few weeks at the beginning part of August, and they get checks sent out in August and in people's bank accounts in mid to late August, that leaves open the possibility of having another stimulus check in September or October right before the election happens. Now, a lot of you guys might say, oh, that'll never happen. They've taken forever to pass the second stimulus check. We do know there's going to be a second stimulus check, but they've just taken forever to do it. But who held up this second stimulus check? The Republicans did. The Democrats passed the HEROES bill for a $1,200 stimulus check 2.5 months ago. And the only people that held it up were the Republicans. President Donald Trump is a Republican, and the Republicans obviously want to keep their president around. So, since they were the only ones that held up another stimulus check, it goes to say that we could pass more stimulus checks because if the Republicans are in approval for it, it'll probably get passed pretty quickly. And if we look at our closest neighbors and our closest allies, Canada, they're paying their residents $2,000 per month in stimulus checks every single month, where the U.S. has only done $1,200. So for them to pass 2 more checks of $1,200 doesn't seem that far of a stretch. In fact, it's not just Canada, but many countries around the world have passed more stimulus than the United States of America has. And even this second round of $1,200 won't boost us past those countries in the amount of stimulus that has been passed in those countries. Now, if you're President Donald Trump and you want to do everything you can to be reelected within reason, passing two sets of checks before the election seems very likely. And the Republicans obviously want to keep a Republican president. It would be way worse for them to have a Democrat president than somebody of their own party. So Republicans would probably be on board with this and would make passing of another stimulus check be very quick. So let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you think that this is a very real possibility and that Steve Mnuchin's suggestion of more stimulus checks in the future could become a very real possibility? Let us know your thoughts down below. Also, I have another video coming out today at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is noon Pacific Time, because there's so much information coming out right now about stimulus check news. When there's tons of information, I'll likely be having two videos per day, one at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and one at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So if there's lots of news, make sure you watch both those videos so you stay up to date. And this video over here is my most recent stimulus check update video. You can watch that next. And this video over here teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling one product on Amazon. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.